All right. So while we are going, I'll advise if you have any question you can send, just ask. But I'm not sure we're going to cover a lot. We're going to cover it today because it looks like not everyone's online. So is Euro USD on the weekly time frame? I think I have it's a key level here, a fresh key level which price tap into it and close below. So I want to see some reactions on the lower time frame. That's the daily time frame. I want to see this low here taking out, but if I go 1 hour lower, yeah, I think this is the only low I want this low to be taken out. Then I'll start looking for my bearish setups. So let me show you guys some things. GPG1, I think I had a trade today that was an AED card, AED CHF. I also explained, someone told me they didn't understand the trade should be AED CHF. Always use forex.com. Forex.com is more better. This one was very easy. Daily time frame, I had its key level here. That's why I always tell you guys, always work with your storylines. Always work with your storylines. Always work with your storylines. It's far much advisable. You understand? And for you to have a clear storyline for it, so that you don't get confused. Whenever you have something like this, and you see a break of structure, price comes back, you start looking for your storyline somewhere around here. Look for a storyline somewhere around here. Any storyline you see at this level, you should take it. You understand? If you see any V shape key level here, you start your storyline from here and you start going up. So always make sure you have a break of structure and price is retracing to your key level. Break of structure and price is retracing to your key level is very, very much advisable. You understand? It's very much advisable. For example, here now this is a key level down here, and if we go to the lower time, because here isn't that clear, you see here what we have. We have a sweep. We have a sweep, and we also have a break of structure here. I think let's see this one. We also have a break of structure here to the upside. So expect price to move higher. So how did I get this set up? Just from this ODI, when your price was bullish. Because another example you always find price bullish is you see this engulfing candle. You have this big ass engulfing candle on the daily time frame. This is an engulfing candle. It shows signs of bullishness. Inside this engulfing candle, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the same pattern. In that engulfing candle, you're going to see the same pattern, which we have this sweep of liquidity and we have a break of structure. You see, I have a break of structure. So this is where you're going to see this engulfing candle. If I take it down, you're going to see it more better. This is what we have. We have a sweep and we have a break of structure. That's why you're going to see an engulfing candle. So you can also decide to look for your engulfing candles. You understand? You should look for your engulfing candles, which is breaking structure to the upside. So you always target that, okay, if I have an engulfing candle, where will price always retrace? The price always come back to this. Look at, for example, just that I can't back this. All right, so now it's supposed to be green. Let's say this is green. I have this as red. All right, so this is an example of an engulfing candle. You understand? It's an example of an engulfing candle. So now we have two zones price is going to come, is going to retrace to whenever we have this engulfing candle, not like 80% of the time. You understand? So price always come back either to this point here, people buying up, or price is going to come back to this point here, people buying up. So these are all two key levels you want to be looking for. It's going to be an An A-shaped key level that's going to turn to a V shape here, and it's going to be a V-shaped key level at this point here. That's where price, those are turning points of price. You understand? Those are turning points of price. Those are key levels you should always take note of whenever you have an engulfing candle, either bearish or bullish on the higher time frame. You understand? So now, for example, here, hold on a second. All right, so now, for example, here, we have this bullish engulfing. You understand? This is a bullish engulfing, and it's breaking this, it break this candle high, break this other, no, it didn't break this one high. So it break this other candle high. So if you go on a lower time frame, that's 4 hours, what are you going to see? It break this high. You understand? And we have a sweep of liquidity. So what are we expecting price to come somewhere around here before moving up to the upside? But still on the daily time frame, what do you have here? We have this is a key level where price has to retrace to. You understand? So let's say, for instance, price was here. Let me see if I can play it on the daily time frame. Yes, I can do that. All right, so now this is what we have here on this daily time frame. Price closed here. Right. So what are we expecting? We're expecting a reversal either to this point. This is a key level here. Here's a key level, an open close key level. Here's an open close key level. You can draw it low. And this here we have this V-shaped key level. You understand? We have this V-shaped key level here. So we expect price to react from here or react from here. So now we just need to watch price movement. You understand? You just need to watch price. But sometimes you can also use your Fibonacci. You can use your Fibonacci from this low to this high. Just to see where price comes. You understand? You want price to come below the 50% retracement before you have your entry. So now what happens? We have price. Let me solve. So we had price came back to this key level here. This is a V-shaped key level. Turn on your line charge, you're going to understand. Yes, a V-shaped key level. So what happened? Price came to this V-shaped key level. Tapped on our V-shaped key level. Are you understanding? Tapped at this V-shaped key level. Yes, a support zone, a valid support zone. What do you want to do? One time frame lower. On the one time frame lower, if it's not clear like this, you're seeing all these weeks, and you see that the only valid one is this upper part here. You can't wait for price to come right to this point here. You understand? That's when you can go another time frame lower. So 1 or 2 time frame lower. That's all what you want to look out for. And remember, you don't need to touch this line for this key level here. You don't need to touch this line. You don't need to shake it. You don't need to move it up or down. It's just this here stuck now. Just supposed to shake. So now, for example, here, what happened on the 1 hour time frame? Price came, tapped into our key level. We had to tap into our key level. And what happened? I always told you guys, turn on your line chart, tap this support zone here. One price break this support zone, which is an external break of structure, price broke structure. And what we're expecting? We're expecting price to come back to the downside. So if you turn back the line chart, you're going to see we have 2 levels. We have this QMR here. It's a QMR. You can mark it out. You have this QMR, which price may likely react from it. And we have this last resort zone. I told you we call this part our last resort zone. That means the price doesn't react from anywhere, it's going to react from the last resort zone. So we have, whenever we have a QMR, we have just 2 zones to focus on: 1, 2, and 3. You understand? 3 zones, 1, 2, and 3. But this one is very, very further. It's right up here. We don't really expect the price to work here since it has already been broken to the downside. So what happened? The oil price came here, then we had this one. This was liquidity because this QMR didn't work. But if you weren't wise enough, you could still enter the QMR here, but you're going to hold this drawdown. Your stop loss is going to be below the low. It's protected because we have a sweep. Look at, you have a sweep line chart. You have a sweep, and a break of structure to the upside. What do you expect? A reversal. You understand? The same pattern. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So now we have our sweep and break of structure. We expect price to come now to the downside. We have to buy it to the upside. So it's very easy. Price came so quickly. I think I had it on 15 minute time frame. What happened? Here's what we had. The price came so quickly. That part. This last result zone here on the 4 hours. When we refine down, you're going to notice what it was giving us this open close. So we just stick to this point because you can see this one here has liquidity, liquidity. You can still stick to this. And so what happened? I think we had this trend line confirmation too. We had this trend line confirmation. First tap, second tap, the third tap was our entry. Trend line confirmation enter. And where are we targeting? I told you we have a daily storyline. Someone asked that question in the group. I told you guys we have a daily storyline. For instance, here's the daily storyline. Where do you look for your roadblocks? If we're starting the storyline here, we don't just target this high. You understand? You want to go one time even lower, which is 4 hours. That's where you look for your roadblock. So from here to here, where do we actually see that price may actually likely to be best for? We have this zone. So turn on your line chart, you can spot your roadblocks. We have this one. We have this roadblock, and we have this other roadblock above here. We have these two roadblocks. So if you turn on your line chart, you see price have actually come to this one here. It's reacting from this roadblock here. So what happened? Price may likely not come to this zone again. And you get it because of the 4 hours reacting to this roadblock. So what is likely going to happen? If this low gets taken out, this one gets taken out, we have a bullish flow in the market. A bearish flow, sorry, we have a bearish flow in the market. If this low gets taken out, we are going to be bearish. We have to start looking for confirmations because it has broken down. Wait for a re-entry to any QMR or any support zone we want to take our trade from here. Hope I'm making myself very clear. So here we had our first trade where we targeting. This was supposed to be my first target, which I already got it. This other trade here, I think it hit my TP here. I wasn't really targeting this guy here. So everything you could hold your trade, you could go out this one. If I was taking this one, I could go out from here. But I held because I knew it's going to come to a storyline, a roadblock, sorry, before tracing. Then what happened? I think up here I had a sweep.
Yeah, I had a question on that.
All right.
So when you're down the 15 minute, I think what for your take profits, like if you're entering on the 15 minute or let's say the 5 minute, where are your TPs a little bit short? I get the overall storyline and if you're getting a 4 hour key level, your ultimate TP probably the next 4 hour key level. But if you're
Yeah.
entering on the five, what would you recommend? Because I understand that it's not always going to go to that key level, the higher time frame key level.
Yes. So now, what do you want to do? Normal SMC. Normal SMC. Whenever you take a trade from here, where are you targeting? You're targeting the next high. Understand? You're targeting in the next range high, the external range liquidity. Once you've taken out internal range liquidity, where are you targeting external range liquidity? For instance, let's do this thing. If I was taking this trade here, if I was taking this bar here on a 15-minute time frame, where am I targeting? I'm targeting this external range high. I get this my internal range. I'm targeting the next high, the next drop, how the next structure, yeah, the next range high. So where will I want to TP? I want to TP at this zone here. Here's where I want to TP at this zone here. You understand? So for this other trade here, for example, here, here's my sweep break of structural liquidity on the 15 minutes. Where will I want to TP? Because I'm scalping, you understand? I don't want to wait for my roadblocks. I don't want to respect my roadblocks. What am I targeting? This range high. You understand? This swing high, yes, we call it a swing high in market structure. We call it a swing high because here's a swing low and here's a swing high. So if we're taking a trade here, we take out this internal range liquidity here, this one, where are we targeting? We're targeting this next high. So we take our buy from here, we have from here to here. That was going to be how many pips? How many weeks to reward? That should be 1 is to 4 weeks to reward. You understand? 1 is to 3 is all right, but that should be 1 is to 4 weeks to reward. That's where you're going to TP. You understand? Can you guys hear me? I don't know, my headset is giving me trouble.
Yep, I understand that one.
All right, so for example, here again, what happened? We have this sweep of liquidity, we have this strong low, we have this was liquidity inside here. There was liquidity. So what happened? Price came, tap into our entry point. Where are we targeting? The next external range high, the next swing high. Yes, our next swing high. Here's where you want to
So
TP.
Okay, so if you're on your initial entry, um, when you're doing the continuation entries like you're doing now, do, are you staying on the same? Let's just say you enter on a 15 minute for the continuation entries, like your second and third. Are you staying
Yeah.
on the 15 minute for that?
Yes, you can stay on the 15 minutes, but now how would you confirm it? If you have any entry on the 15 minute for your continuation entries, let's say we have this trade on the 15 minute, what do you want to do? You want to go one time frame higher to confirm a key level. You understand? You want price, you always react from a key level. You want to go one time frame higher, confirm a key level. Let's say this, two time frame higher. If you want a 15 minute, go to the 1 hour. If you're on 5 minute, still go to the 30 minute or 1 hour. You understand? If you're on the 15 minute coins, if it's not clear, you can go to the 4 hours. You just go higher. Yeah, for example, you're going to see it much clearer. Like, for example, yeah, how do we confirm this setup here? This one, let me go back to the 15 minutes so you can see it clearly. This setup here, where we had this sweep, yeah, and had break of structure. We won't know which exact POI to take here because if we were trading SMC, we are going to take this whole as order block. We are going to take this whole as order block here as our entry point. You understand? So where are we going to be entering right above at this point, and we are going to have this large drawdown here for price, and our stop loss is going to be here. That means we are going to be having entry at this point, stop loss below here, TP above here. It doesn't make sense. You understand? So now what do? You go to one time from higher or two time from higher, and what I can see, you're going to spot the right entry, which is going to be a key level. Here we have a V-shaped key level line chart. You're going to see a V-shaped key level waiting for you at your entry. That's your entry at this V-shaped key level. So price to come tap into this key level and we have a buy to the upside. You understand? So it's not that complicated. This one, I think this one, I just had it. I went to the higher time frame for this entry and I couldn't find any key level. So I couldn't find any key level where price because all I had there were weeks. I had just weeks at this point. So I had it on still on 15 minutes. I just noticed price is going to come to this key level here. This is key level here. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Can't hear me. Hello? You guys hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So now let's continue. So now, for example, here I had this key level line chart, V-shaped key level, and I had this sweep here. I had this sweep and I had liquidity. So what happened? Price came back, tapped into the key level. We had this sniper. I mean, you had this buy to the upside. And this other one, I think I got this on, should be on the 4 hours. Is it 4 hours? Or 1 hour? So I refined. I think I got this on the 30 minutes or 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Yeah, I got this on the 15 minutes. Yeah, I had this key level here. And what happened? Touch the first time, break, touch second time, break. You see, this point was actually active. Like price actually reacted from this point several times. So I knew after this liquidity, price is actually going to react from here, and we have price move to the upside. You understand? And let me show you so guys something. This is something you should always look out for. It's going to help you a lot. For example, if you have price or something like this, this is the origin. We call this an origin of the move. You understand? We always call this the origin of the move. This is what you want to find at the beginning of any key level. This origin, we call this the origin of the move at the beginning of any key level, where price always we have this QMR entry. We know that our storyline has started on a lower time frame. We always want to have this. So now this is the start, this is the kind of pattern you want to see at the start of a storyline. And now for your continuations, you always want to see things like this. You start seeing things like this for a bullish setup. You always want to see things like this. Price gives liquidity. Something like a breaker block. You understand? Price gives liquidity, and here's liquidity. Then here's your breaker entry. And what happened here? You want to see a fair value gap inside this point. At this point here, you want to see a fair value gap. Yeah. That makes this one here more valid. So you always have price comes back to the downside. So I hope I've explained this trade. And let me show you something on gold. I don't want this code to end. On gold, I was expecting sales. I don't know what really came over me. But let's see. I don't know what really came over me. I didn't really notice a lot because, first of all, what made me to consider this sell here on gold was because of I had this Asian low here and I was expecting price to come here immediately because whenever you are going to have these moves, if you understand sessions well, right? I'll look for time and we're going to study sessions. Once you understand sessions very well, you notice that whenever we have this Asian range, what happened? Price is always going to move at 1 p.m. Cameroon time. Let me see, 1 p.m. Cameroon time. This is 1 p.m. Cameroon time. That's where you want price to tap into your key level at 1 p.m. That means this is my 1 p.m. here. You understand? We call it I think it's the New York kill zone. You understand? You always want price to come to your, like, this was my key level, my entry here, somewhere around here. I wanted price to come to this level here at my New York kill zone. Exactly at my New York kill zone, and it's going to drop. But whenever it takes long, just know it's going to break it up. You understand? It's not going to work. So I had this sell here because on the 4 hours, I think I had a strong key level. Here was a strong key level, a very strong key level here at this point. You understand? But this was something I could actually take this trade using confirmations. That's why I didn't take this. I didn't take the buy because I would expect price to always come into my key level. Wait for a storyline. Wait for price to break down once you're on a higher time frame. You don't just want to go in on a higher time frame. All those
Yes,
risks.
sir. Yes, sir.
Please, can you turn off your mic? Can you mute yourself,
Eh?
Jeff? So I always want price to come. Here was my key level here, for instance. Here was my key level here, for instance. I always want one price to come to my key level tap, and I'll have a sign of reversal. So that's how you always avoid these losses. But we were blind, and nobody actually noticed. We were actually blind. We didn't actually notice price was doing something here. Let me see. Was it daily? 1 hour. 4 hour. Let me see. We didn't actually notice price was doing something here. Let me take everything here off. This was we could actually take this trade because it was actually a very nice buy. It's a very nice buy. Yeah, this was the origin of the move here. We had this 4 hour key level here. Can you see this 4 hour key level? V-shape price came tap into the key level. And what are we expecting? You don't just want to enter at this point. You understand? You want to go time frame lower, you look for your breaks and all the stuff. So one time frame lower, which is the 4 hour time frame. And I think we had a break of structure. This was, I told you guys, always mark where price touch, and you don't have anything to do with this daily key level anymore, with this 4 hour key level anymore. You understand? You don't have anything to do with this key level anymore. You don't have anything to do with this 4 hour key level anymore, because what happened? Price tapped into our 4 hour level and closed above. You understand? That's 4 hour rejects 4 hour. You understand? 4 hour rejects 4 hour. 4 hour rejects 4 hour. You want to go one time from lower, you look for your break of show. So where was our touch? That should be our next question. Here's our touch here. Mark out that touch. Mark out the touch. Now look left. Look left. Which resistance zone do we see? Which yes, is resistance. Which resistance zone do we see on our left side? We have this one. Turn on your line chart to make it more easier. We have this resistance zone here. You can take this line off now. And what happened? We want this point to be broken. Because on the 1 hour time frame, we don't want to really go lower, 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 lower. It doesn't make sense. So we had price break this to the upside. And what happened? Very, very simple. You could go to again lower. Go again lower. We had this. We had this key level here. So price came back and we had liquidity inside. Everything inside there was liquidity. And I think you could confirm this with a trend line. Let me see. You could confirm this with a trend line, if I'm not mistaken. Can you see? Can you see? Here was our entry here for this massive buy on gold. So I don't know what we're actually looking out for. You understand? 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you have your entry. 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you have your entry because you have a break of structure to the upside. We have this break of structure to the upside. So you always want to always look at all these things. You want to always look at your roadblocks on the 4 hour time frame. Always look at your roadblocks on the 4 hour time frame. We have price actually reacting from here, and we just needed to see a break of structure from here to the upside, and we could take this buy, but instead we ignored it. And what we're looking out for, we're looking out for a sell somewhere around here when this one was already playing out. You understand? So where should we even if we could not catch the whole move, where we could take the trade to this high, even we could even take the trade to this high here in case, so that we don't lose anything. We could take the trade to this high here. Stop loss should be below here, and that could give us 1:13 risk to reward. Can you see? It could give us 1:13 risk to reward, 1:13 RR. So that's what we actually missed on gold. We actually missed on gold. Then I think we have USD JPY. Let me show you guys something else. USD JPY. Forex.com. I don't know if this call ends suddenly, just know I haven't paid for subscription. So yeah, what do we have here? We had this key level, we had price broke structure to the downside. Can you see? Turn your line chart, you see price actually broke structure to the downside. Price broke structure to the downside, and what do you expect? Was you expect a reversal, a retracement. And what happened? Price came back here, and there's something about engulfing. Here we had an engulfing. What happened? Price retraced to this engulfing. Here we had also an engulfing. Price retraced to this engulfing. Here we had an engulfing. Price retraced to this engulfing. But didn't really come to the 50% retracement. But not all engulfing, like this one here, price didn't actually work out here with the engulfing. So you have to also understand that. And again, yeah, I think we have this key level here. We have this key level. We have this break of structure. I'm expecting price. We have this reaction here. Price closed above this week, and I think this other week is doing its own thing. But I want a break of structure here on the daily time frame. I want a break from here. But where will I expect a break? I think those is high. The break of this high now. I'll start targeting this above this point above here. My interest, but that's not what we are talking about here. We're talking about these reversals. So here's an engulfing. This one candle engulf 1, 2, 3 candles. Can you see? And we expect price to come back to the 50% of this candle. We have to sell. And I told you guys, use your Fibonacci tool. This is at the top of the candle. bring it to the lower part of the candle, you're going to see this a 50% level. Price came actually to the above the 50% retracement. So what does that mean? We look for a key level here where price is going to actually react from. We had this key level, a V-shaped key level which turned into an A-shape. It's a V-shaped key level which is about to turn to an A-shape, or we call it a flip zone. The price came, tapped into the key level. And what do you want? You don't just take your trade here. You want to look for your confirmation, because that's the weekly. One time from lower, one time from lower. I think here was the tap on our one time. Here was the first tap. We had this first tap here. I think that's daily 4 hour time frame. What do we have? 4 hour time frame. Okay, here was our first tap into the key level. Tap into our key level. We want to see a break of the next support zone. Here's the next support zone. Price broke the support zone to the downside. And what happened? We had this reversal to this last resort zone. We had price come to this last resort zone. We had this sell to the downside. But from here, from these 4 hours, you still want to take your confirmations. You understand? You still want to look for another storyline to enter the trade. But this is just an example. So let's check another thing. BTC USD, yes, BTC USD. I think let's see. So what do we have here? You're going to see we have this key level. Here's an A-shaped key level. You understand? So this is a key level here where price can react from. You understand? All these points, all these V-shapes and A-shapes are key levels where price are going to react from. Yeah, I think this one price reacted from this key level. It's a key level where price reacted from this week. Go to the lower time frame, you're going to see your break, your sweep break of break of structure to the downside, and everything, your storyline, you're going to find it inside. You don't need to see gap. You understand? Just 3 candles, you have your trade. You get, here's another one here. This one, we have this gap here. You have this gap. Anything inside is liquidity. So this one worked out well. Here's also another one that worked out well. Then this one, yeah, price never came there. Then we have this one actually played out well, because if you go to the lower time frame, you're still going to see your break here, price tap. You're still going to see your break and everything there. I think, yeah, I got this. This key level here, price reacted from this key level. One time frame lower, we had this touch. One time frame lower, we had this touch. Yeah, then break of structure to downside. I think should be down here. Break of structure. Let's go another time frame lower. All right, you can see. Okay. One time frame, 4 hour time frame. Here was our break of structure. We had this break of structure here to the downside with this massive candle. And what happened? This pattern I showed you guys. This stuff I showed you. This one. How am I drawing? Yes, no. So I told you guys, when you have something like this, you want to come and see, you want to see price gives you something like a fair value gap inside here, why it taps into this your entry, to this your key level here. And we have this liquidity and price reverse. So what happened? We had this break of structure to the downside, then we had liquidity formed. Can you see we have liquidity formed after our break of structure? First pullback, I told you it's always liquidity. We have liquidity formed, broke structure again. Now, what are you expecting? It's simple and basic. The first key zone after your liquidity, that's your entry. You understand? That's 24 hour time frame. Price came here, tapped 24 hours, and had this massive move to the downside on BTC USD. Then I think here again on the daily time frame, I think we had this key level. Here's another key level here. The price actually broke structure. We had this engulfing candle. Can you see we had this engulfing candle, price engulf this candle. And what happened? I told you engulfing, you can just wait for price to come back to your engulfing zone. We have this key level and this key level. These are 2 zones where price will actually react from. But you may decide to use your FIP tool. Price will come 50% of the FIP tool, and you have your key level. So everything I'm showing you guys is ways for you to catch your key levels. You understand? Ways for you to find key levels, and you wait for your one thing, your storyline. You get. So here we have price reacted from this key level. Let's see. 1 time frame lower, 2 time frame lower. Yeah, I saw this, but there was no break. We had no break until price could come and break this guy here, and you start waiting for a reversal, maybe somewhere here. Start waiting for a reversal for an entry, yeah. The price will never come there. You understand? Price just kicked after this key level and started buying to the upside. So I think, let me see if I have another one. Sui USDT. Had these two Sui USDT. Daily time frame. What do you have on daily? We have this key level here. I see we have this V-shaped key level line chart. You see it clearly, V-shaped key level. And what happened inside here? We had this move. This is liquidity. You understand? This is liquidity means price will tap at this key level and go to the upside. So anything, no matter all these weeks, forget about these weeks. No matter even the week is longer up to this point here, you have nothing to worry about. You understand? You have nothing to worry about. You just want to see your. That's why it's always safe to look for your storyline. You understand? No matter how long the week is, you just want to see your storyline. So 1 time frame lower. If it's not clear, we go 2 time frame lower. 1 time frame lower. Here was the first touch. If we want to use this 1 time frame lower, our next break is going to be here. That's a lot of time. Go 1 time frame lower to the 4-hour time frame. What do you have in the 4-hour time frame? What was our first move? Our first touch was this one. Yeah. First touch was this one here. Then first break of structure, line chart. You're going to see first break of structure was this guy up here. This one. So we have this break of structure to the upside. And what happened? Price need to come back down to this point here. We had this last resort zone. I think, let me see if we had any refinement. When price comes to this last resort zone here, that was your entry point. And you saw our price skyrocketed to the upside. So our price skyrocketed to the upside. This one, I think price was reacting from this one, this key level liquidity. Look for your storylines again here on 4-hour time frame. Look for your storylines here. Price is buying to the upside. Here's a storyline too. Another story, a weekly storyline. Weekly key level here. We are breaking structure to the downside. We are breaking structure to the downside. Broke structure to the downside here. What are you expecting? And here's an engulfing candle. We're expecting price to reverse to this zone. One, we have this zone one, we have two, we have three. So this engulfing zone, those are where you're always waiting for your entry points. So price came back to this point, that, and what are you looking for? Your storyline in the lower time frame. So here we have it. For a break of structure, somewhere around here. Should have a break of structure? No, first touch. Then break of structure should be down here. So this one wasn't really clear. Unless you waited for no break of structure and you entered at this reversal. So I won't take trades like this. I always avoid it. So any question? Any question? I don't want these zooms to end. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. Without answering your questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I hope you guys are getting me.
Yeah, so I have a question. So how many candles, because I know, like I said, it's not always perfect, but your storyline, um, if say it closes outside of your storyline candle, are you as long as like the next candle rejects or 'cause I think I saw an example of that before. That if you're marking your key level, if it closes, past that, that sometimes it'll come back in and give you the break of structure. So as I'm gonna give an example of marking a storyline and closing out above but still working out.
Like for a storyline that let's say it close above our key level or below our key level, but still worked out well. So that one, it depends now on how valid your storyline starts. You understand? It depends now on how valid your storyline starts. But I'll tell you the best storylines are the ones which, for example, these are the ones which close below. You understand? The ones which close below. But I told you guys, I think there's a video I explained one time that not all the time are you going to wait for Not every time you're going to wait for price to close, because maybe if you're on a weekly key level, you're not going to wait for a whole full week. You understand? You're not going to wait for one full week um for your candle to close using a full week. You won't be able to wait for a full week. So you just take the move as you see it. Maybe price hasn't closed yet, but you're seeing retracement. You can start looking for your storyline. But for example, price close above, I'll come to that, which will answer your question. Just hold on. So now, for example, yeah, you want price to close below the key level. On that same day, are you getting on the same day you want price to close below the key level on the same day? So we're going to have a retracement like this. We're going to have a retracement like this one. On top. Okay, a retracement like this. Well, go to the one time frame lower, and you're going to see your sweep break of structure and your reversal, and you enter your trade. So now, for example, now if price close above here, let's say something like this, above your storyline, what do you want to do? You want to see, okay, maybe price close here, we have a week now just here. You understand? It's not safe, but now it depends on what you see on one time frame lower. Don't go with things like this, don't go two time frame lower if you're not seeing anything clear on one time frame lower. Just remain on the first time frame lower. And that's where you want to see. Let me see why is this going straight? That's when you want to see your, I don't know, why is this guy going straight? So that's when you want to see your sweep break of structure on the one. Let's say if we have this on a daily time frame, you want to see your sweep break of structures on the 4 hour time frame. If it's not clear on the 4 hour time frame, don't take it because it's going to stop you out. You understand? See your sweep. This sweep makes this high protected. It makes this high protected on a lower time frame. It makes this high protected. When you have this sweep on your break of structure, you know price will always come somewhere around here, and we're going to have this waterfall. You understand? You always want to see this sweep and everything. So it doesn't really count. Let's look for where it worked. Let's see. Yeah, so if a V-shaped key level which worked out, V-shaped key level price came tap, reverse closed, and we have this buy. We take this buy to the upside. Catch the whole move. Then let's see. I don't really want to go behind because I'm not paying for subscription. USJP1. This one closed above, so we can't actually use this as an example. All right, okay. We have this one. This is the weekly time frame here. Weekly time frame, we have this. Okay, this yes, a clear example for you. We had price here on the weekly. Price didn't close above the key level. What happened? Price closed below our key level. You understand? We can see the closing here below the key level. So what happened? You want to just see your confirmations. You want to see the beginning, the start of your storyline. That's what's going to make your trade more valid. You understand? One time frame lower, and let's see what happened one time frame lower. It's so basic. Yes, here was our first touch here. I told you can mark that touch out, but you guys are already advanced, so you have this break of structure here to the upside. Break of structure. One time frame lower when in cases like this. And what happened? What do we have here? If you turn on line chart, let's see. We have a sweep. You can use line chart or you can use the candlestick chart and break of structure. Sweep, break of structure, making this low protected. I guess making this low protected. So if we turn work our line chart, we can see use this one as a sweep. Yes, a sweep and break of structure, making this guy here protected. So we don't expect price to come again to this low. I see. We don't expect price to come again to this low. What happened? Price just came here. Look for where it was stable here. Let's see. Look for where it was suitable here. I had a buy. I think here we could consider something like, okay, sweep. protected low break of structure. We have this inside this move here. So sweep with these candles weak. If you go to the 1 hour time frame, you see more much clear. So we have the sweep here, protected low, and we have liquidity inside here. So where will I be targeting? I'll be targeting this guy. Entry palm here, my stop loss below, and I'm targeting this high. Are you getting? But on the 4 hours, I want to go more lower to refine it much more better. So I have a clear refine because if you go one time from lower, you're not going to enter at this point. You're still going to end, you're going to enter below because you're going to refine your entry. Yeah, you're going to refine your entry and look for a much clearer zone to take your buy from. Yes, now you can still refine to a 15 minute, but if I go too much lower, I'm not sure I'll be able to take. Oh, I think I see a QM here. Stop hunt, protected low break of structure, liquidity. Yeah, maybe our entry was surely from this point here. Maybe, or this one. So I hope it's clear how to see if price close above or below your key level. Just look for your confirmations. It's just look for your confirmations. Always follow the rules for your storylines. Follow your storylines. Any other question? Any more questions? I think next time we are going to do a call much more earlier because I think some people are always already sleeping in their own country, so we have to make it much more earlier. I think next time 8 p.m. I want to have a call at 8 p.m. But I always put it at 10 because I know some people are working, so most of them aren't home by 8 p.m. Yes, you can ask a question, Stella. All right, you can type, you can type. What the conference you are in to see if it follows by balance. Yes. If it follows with an imbalance, it's much more. Even if he has been mitigated, yes, even if he has been mitigated, it's also valid. For POIs on the lower time frame, you don't even you don't care about fresh and unfresh again. You understand? You don't care about fresh and unfresh. Just look for your POI. Price will come there. You always think about fresh and unfresh on the higher time frame. Is that clear? All right. If there's no more questions, then you send the remaining questions to the group chat. I will answer them. Have a nice time, and you guys should keep sending results, and take high quality setups only.